Hello and welcome to another episode of the MBS podcast with me, John.
And Mark.
And Mark. It's a bit
And Mark.
seemed a bit like quiet then, Mark. A bit subdued.
Yeah. And Mark.
That's better.
Woohoo.
There we go. And on today's episode, we are going to be talking about the value of money. Now, not strictly a blokey thing per se.
No, but for everybody, isn't it?
Yeah,
Really?
for everybody. But there is also some sort of logic tied into it. So obviously everything that's been going on around the world with the COVID pandemic has led to companies not accepting cash in places and everybody wanting you to pay by card. Now, what do you think about this?
I sort of understand, obviously, because it's hand-to-hand contact, isn't it?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you're holding something and you've got the virus and it is on your hand and you're giving that coin note to someone else, you're going to give it to someone else. They'll put it in the till, which will touch the one above and below, if it is a note, for instance.
Yep.
So then that's free. Then you're going to give that possibly out to free other people.
Yeah.
You know, who's to say they ain't going to go down the road and use that in another shop,
And
etc.,
etc.
etc.
And so forth. Yeah.
It doesn't bother me at all. In fact, even if I had the cash in my pocket and I went into a shop and they said I had to pay by cards, at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Yeah.
If the pandemic wasn't on, obviously a different story.
Yep.
I've got cash. That's a legal tender.
Yeah, money's money.
So you take it because that's what we do.
Yep.
There is a petrol station opened up near me that's all cards, actually.
Oh, okay.
So you don't pay by cash. It actually comes up on a screen. And whether they are going to change that at a later date, because it is quite new. It's been opened during the pandemic. So who's to say at some point it won't?
COVID-free
But
petrol.
there's no option. There's no option to pay
it's card
inside,
only.
so you pay at the pump.
Oh, okay. So
That's
literally
it.
just like a self-service thing.
Yep.
There's only a little attendant there to just check that the stuff
I
don't blow
didn't
up.
even see anybody.
Oh, really?
There was a shop, but you can't see anyone. There's no window on the outside. It's literally.
Oh, okay. I know they do that. I know the French have been doing that for years.
Sorry, I don't have a problem with that either. To be honest, just literally get out, put the card details in.
Yeah. To be fair,
fill up, shoot off.
Yeah, I much prefer that. If I'm honest, like I don't.
But you lose money, don't you? As a business, I know, sort of going off topic a little bit. As a business, if you get people to come into the shop, that's where you have all your little chocolate bars and your
you're
and your
upselling,
chewing gums
yeah,
and your cigarettes behind the counter.
Yep.
Obviously, we're not promoting smoking, but
Yeah.
but people go in. Oh yeah, I need some bread.
Yeah.
Oh, and I might get a pack of chewing gum while I'm in here because my mouth tastes like I've been eating arsehole for 3 days. But do you know what I mean? That's where a lot of people make their money.
Yeah.
And obviously, I don't know, how much money you make on fuel. I wouldn't imagine it's a huge amount at all. But
No, but if
it's
20
definitely
quid
where
suddenly
all
becomes
your
30
profit
quid, it's
comes
30
from.
quid, isn't it?
Absolutely. So you do take that away, don't you? So I don't know.
See, yeah. I mean, I think we touched on it in our tech thing where we were talking about like phones being able to pay by your phone with like
All
Google
the time.
Pay or Apple Pay, and
Yep.
and
Don't
all
even
that
take
sort
the
of
wallet
stuff.
out.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You can go out the door and only need your car keys and your phone. Like that's one of them things now.
You can even do it on your watch now, can't you?
Well, yeah, but you can, yeah.
I've not actually tried doing that yet, but I've got the option to do it with my watch
Oh, okay. That'd be interesting to see.
with Apple Pay.
Yeah, suddenly you've paid for a bag of crisps and a couple of chocolate bars, and instead of it being £3.50, you've paid 350 quid because you accidentally paid with your watch.
Kept flicking your wrist over.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
It's not working.
Yeah. So I can understand it to a degree, but I'm not sure I like it because for a couple of reasons. So if you go down the cashless society route, so everyone's paying by card or paying by watch
Forever.
Yeah.
You mean, yeah.
Yeah, going forward, because that's the thing. So like I love it for the ease of it all. Like let's say for example you go to a petrol station like you said, and you go up to the pump, put your card in, put your number in, fill your car up, go.
Yeah, if you don't need anything, that
No.
is absolutely the best way of doing it. It's like going for a drive-through, isn't it, where there's no one in front of you. Who wants to queue up in the shop?
Nothing drives me more crackers at a petrol station than someone who pulls up at a pump, fills up their car, presses a button, so waits another 60 seconds for the attendant in there who's busy serving people to press the button on the machine to activate it so that they can pump fuel through, to put it all in the thing, to go in, and then to watch them get out their credit card and pay by credit card inside. Not buying anything, just pay for the fuel inside with their credit card. That drives me crackers.
Do you not think that some people are apprehensive because of... You don't really hear about it as much now, but early days there was a lot of scammers, weren't there?
Yeah, of course, yeah. But I mean, really, like, you don't ever use your card anywhere. Then pay by cash. Don't go. But and that's the thing. If the individual in front of me wandered in and was going flick with a bunch of notes, handed over a bunch of notes, I'd be all right with that because that machine outside can't take notes. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's when they go in and pay by card. It drives me crackers. This machine is designed to take your card so that you don't need to walk into the shop and you can be gone quicker. I came in here to you, especially if you're when you're behind that person. It just drives me nuts. I filled up and now I've got to wait for you to be in that queue. I might as well have just gone in the shop. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I came to this pay at pump machine to pay at the pump so I can go.
Well, I'd like to thank you for that information because now when I go and fill up, I'm going to have that in my head and it'll probably annoy me too.
Yeah, good.
But I never really thought of it before because I don't really care what everyone else is doing.
No, but it's just one of those little things that frustrates me. Like the whole point of this system is for ease of payment, for it to be quick.
Yeah.
Right. So I can get. I've got more important things to do than be standing in a Tesco's petrol station waiting for 4 other people in front of me to pay with their card. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Especially at the minute where
it's a bit pointless, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pointless. Pay at the machine, then go. If you want to go in and pay at the counter because you fancy a bit of interaction with someone, then pay at the normal pump or go to the normal pumps. Don't go at the pay at pump thing where people like me who have got things to be doing and want to get out of there, want to get done and get done. I don't go there for interaction. I go there for fuel.
Yeah.
And then I'm gone.
But it's choice, isn't it, as well?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you have that choice. So if someone chooses to do that, it is ultimately their choice.
Yeah, but they should have
rightly or wrong.
They should have the license taken away from them.
Right.
Well, they should be
Rightly
doused in
or
fuel
wrongly.
and set fire to. It's just not. Don't do that. But like, it drives me crackers. But so from that perspective, right, I totally get it. It makes a lot of sense. The speed of transaction, you can get things done and dusted. Like if you like running into the co-op, nip into the co-op. I need a loaf of bread and a pint of milk. I don't need to stand behind the bloke who's buying like 76 things just to buy my 2 things because, like, for the first time in ages, was in Aldi's a couple of weeks ago, and I literally had a couple of bags of rice and some chicken breasts, and the woman in front of me had like 75 kids and like this week's worth of shopping for them, which was about 4 trolleys, and she looked at me and she went, "Do you want to go in front, love? I've got to load this all up on here. It's going to take me ages and it's nuts." It's the first time that's happened in a very long time.
Yeah,
like,
I think that's quite polite, isn't it?
It is, and it was very considerate of her. And what I didn't do was I didn't pull out a pocket full of shrapnel and slowly count over my change to delay it. What I did was I went tap on the card machine. Thanks, love. Cheers, love. Off. Gone.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Out the door. Like, she wouldn't have even... Her stuff wasn't even at the end of the conveyor belt before I was walking off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So... In that respect, it's really handy. You can grab stuff, you can ping stuff, you haven't got to wait around. Do you know what I mean? You can get out the door, done and dusted. So, in that respect, it's great. I understand that it can be a bit daunting and a bit frightening for the older generation who grew up with cash, and cash is king, and it still is in certain areas and certain aspects, isn't it? Like,
yeah, I worked in retail when chip and pin first come in to play. And the amount of people, when you say, do you know your PIN number? And you turn the machine or give them machine, depending on where it's situated, and they start telling you it. Yeah, literally. Like, and you're like, whoa, hang on. I don't need to know your PIN number, but if you like to tap it in. But that happens a lot.
No, and I can imagine it did.
Do you want to pop your PIN number in? They're just like telling you it, and you're like, whoa.
No.
Yeah. Please don't do that, because if you get mugged outside by someone,
don't tell me a lie, mate. Don't lie to me. You had a notepad there, didn't you?
Which you got my car from?
That's right.
But yeah, I get that. Some people don't like change either.
No,
I don't mean changes in monetary change. I mean changes in change.
I don't like change. Shrapnel.
So some people don't. They just like doing things in a certain way.
Yeah.
In life.
See, my problem with the idea of moving towards a cashless society leads to a couple of things. So, if you go for like the tin hat conspiracy side of things, right? It's all controlled by the banks. Yeah. So the paper money, real money, tangible in your hand money doesn't exist anymore, right? Let's just assume. And you're reliant on your cards or your watch or whatever technology to deal with the transfer of funding for goods or services. What's to say that the government, if they wanted to, couldn't go freeze? That's it. You got no money. Everything you own, every asset, or every asset in the bank that you would need to be able to get through your day, week, month, year, whatever, frozen, locked off.
I don't think it would ever happen.
Why not?
I don't think that. No, I don't mean the fact that they would freeze it. I don't think at any point. Well, what would you do if you say, "Well, I don't want to use a bank"? What if you've gone bankrupt and you're not allowed to use a bank? But where are you going to get your pay?
But you can still have it. But this is the thing: you can still have a bank account. But that's the thing, isn't it? That's what I'm getting at. I mean, all right, there are very, very few companies, if any at all, that actually give you a wage packet anymore. So you like actual cash in a little envelope at the end of the week or month, whatever. Everything's done by bank transfer. Yeah, bank transfer. But I can still get hold of cash. So, like, we sell stuff on Facebook Marketplace, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
You can't sell your thing on there for cash anymore. So you've either got to have a card reader.
Oh, you can if you do collection only.
No, you can't, because cash doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, if cash doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's no selling of goods unless, of course, you've got a card reader or a means of digital transfer.
That's why I don't think it will happen.
But,
what are we going to do? No one uses checks anymore. So, poor Billy, he's 5 years old. I want to send him a tenner for his birthday. What are we going to do? Pop it on a memory card?
Well, but that's the point. Because Billy's not old enough to have a PayPal account. He can't have that. So then the money's got to go to mum or dad.
Yeah. So what do you write in the card? Hello, Billy.
I've sent your mum a tenner.
I've bank transferred some money for you. That's just ridiculous, isn't it?
But it is ridiculous. But that is sort of at the minute where we are sitting. Granted, it's because of a virus that's killing people.
But I can go to a cash machine now, take 50 quid out, and go, here you go, John. It's 50 quid.
Yes, absolutely.
But if I wanted to,
in this world where it's just a cashless society, you can't do that anymore. ATMs don't exist anymore. There's no point because there is no paper cash. Everything is digital now. So there's that, and also like you can't do like sometimes I'll walk past a homeless person and chuck my couple of quid. Get yourself a cup of coffee, mate. Can't do that anymore. What about people who are victim of domestic abuse, who put a bit of cash, like actual real cash, away so that they can get away from the situation? You know, even if it is only 40 quid to get a train ticket or whatever, and they have to store away change, hide that away somewhere. Can't do that anymore. That's gone. Can't get away anymore. Even down to silly things like tipping delivery drivers. Like, do you know what I mean? When I was a kid,
you can tip before it happens, but
But this is what I'm saying. If there's this cashless society,
who tips someone before you've had the service?
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like
that's what I'm saying. You should be able to say, "Here you go, mate. Cheers for that. A couple of quid."
Yeah, but I don't. But so there was the a couple of years ago. There was the thing with restaurants, wasn't there, with waiters and waitresses, where they do the gratuity.
Yes.
On the card machine, and the companies were taking the money, and the waiters and the waitresses weren't getting it.
Well, when I was in the States, that happens all the time with when you pay. Like, on a few occasions, we paid for goods before we received service, yet they're asking for the gratuity tip before you've even had it.
Exactly.
So how can you tip somebody before you've experienced the service?
But that's what I'm getting at. Like a waiter or a waitress, like I'm sure it's something like in the States, the amount of money that they gain in tips makes up the majority of their wages. So the tips bring up their wage.
Yeah, the minimum wage is poor, isn't it?
Yeah,
but
so
the tips always.
And I'm not saying it's the same over here, but still, to be fair, like my wife gets it as a beauty therapist, or do you know what I mean? I've got like my hairdresser, my barber.
Yeah, I always chip the hair for a hairdresser.
He gives me the change back, and I go, "No, keep that, mate. Put it in your pocket." Like I know he's making the money, but he's still got to pay his rent rates, mortgage, blah 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 blah. And if he's got a couple of pints in his pocket, or a packet of nappies in his pocket, or whatever it is, do you know what I mean? Like I've done a good deed, not because I want to do a good deed, just because I think I actually do deserves it. You can't do that anymore if it's only cash service, because then there is no money to give that person. If a delivery driver at Christmas, what I was getting at as a kid, when I did my paper round, so I grafted my arse off. Me and my mate Daryl, we had the worst paper rounds in the village that we grew up in, because ours were always at the very top of the steepest hills in the village. So they were the biggest and the hardest paper rounds in the village, and we did really well at Christmas. We probably earned more in tips at Christmas from the 1,500 houses that we covered, like between the two of us. We probably earned more at Christmas in tips than we did from the paper round throughout the year. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can't. So there'd be none of that. Like I used to walk up the road. It used to make me chuckle at Christmas. You'd walk up the road, especially on bin day. The people would come out and go, "Oh, here, this is for you," and it might only be a quid, or it might be a couple of quid, or the richer houses might be a fiver or a tenner, or I think I remember getting a £20 note once. I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, getting a £20 note, and the bin men, they'd come running out with a fiver each for the bin men, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there'd be none of that with a cashless society. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I don't think it would happen. Do you honestly think people would allow that to happen?
Do you know what I think they would? I don't
think the people would allow it.
I'm not saying that it's gonna happen, but I think that if it carries on like the new norm, we're going to be wearing masks for a long time, walking around wearing masks, socially distancing. It's going to be a normal thing for a long period of time,
even after a vaccine.
Yeah, I still think it'd be normal. I mean, you look at places like Hong Kong.
Isn't
after they had the SARS outbreak, over there. They carried on, they had a really low, or have had low instance, or at least the last time I checked, low instance of COVID-19, because after the SARS outbreak there that killed loads of people, they washed their hands more often, sanitised their hands more often, and they all wear masks out and about, just as a normal practice thing. Do you know what I mean? When they're out and about, just as normal, wear masks. It's become the norm. So if that becomes the norm, and more companies adopt the whole cashless process, then why wouldn't it become normal? Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying it will happen, but there is a likelihood. It's more likely to happen than it was this time last year. See what I mean?
I do sort of get what you're saying, but I don't know. I don't think it would happen.
I think you're right. I think companies know that they'd be cutting their nose off to spite their face if they suddenly went, right, well, 58% of our sales are paid for on card.
It'd be against human rights, isn't it? If you,
I don't think so.
So you work and get paid, and someone can force you not to have that money in your house.
I'm not saying it would happen, but it's a potential. Yeah.
I can't see it. Mate, you're not even allowed to say I hate you to someone in the street because it's against people. You're not allowed to do half.
Yeah, but by the same
ridiculous
token,
things.
But you can get arrested for hate speech, or and rightly so, or aggression or whatever. So you can be removed from an instance or a situation and prosecuted or punished, inverted commas, for it. So what's to say that the government and all the banks or the police, let's say that you're wanted for questioning for something, even something innocent, like you're a witness to something, and the police can't get hold of you. We just freeze their bank account. They ain't going to go nowhere if they ain't got no money.
But I suppose. But if it was frozen and you couldn't withdraw it anyway, then that's no different, is it?
No, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, if it doesn't
having access to it.
Yeah, but
if you haven't done anything wrong, and you think, do you know what? I've had enough of my bank. I'm sick of it. I'm going to take all my money out.
But then what if they turn around and go, no? Because you've got no option for taking... Because you could just be going up to the cash points and taking out 500 quid and you could drain your bank account.
It's your money.
Yeah, it is your money. But that's what I'm getting at. If they suddenly decide, if the government, globally governments decide, actually, we'll do away with cash. because it gives us more control. Because that's all the government is about. It's about control. Like, mad conspiracy theories aside, ultimately they're there to lead and control. That's what they do. That's what they do. You and I have little or no effect on anything that happens in this country. It's the government that do that.
Yeah, the laws.
From every aspect. Well, everything. Trade, to laws, to everything. Like, it's the government's job. That's their job. And if they decide, they hold the power. So if they decide suddenly this group of people aren't having money, they can do it.
Yeah, well, it's all political then, isn't it?
Of course it is, but I'm just saying hypothetically they could.
But if
and that could potentially screw people over.
Yeah.
So
would you vote a government in that were suggesting that that's what they were going to do? I don't think a lot of people would.
Well, no, but you don't have to necessarily be voted in to do that. Look at all the things that the government have done recently without any consultation to the public. Bang. No. You could be prosecuted for this. That's
but if people don't like that, you're not going to stay in. That's effectively what I'm saying. So if they did start doing that, and everyone was like, "Whoa, hang on a minute, you can't do that. That's my money. You're taking away my right to
I agree with
my
you.
right to have my money."
The people would revolt. No, I agree with you. I 100% agree. And this is the most extreme circumstances, but I'm just saying that it's a potential that it could happen. But the other thing, the other side of it, is that I think it, and you hit the nail on the head, or you gave an example of it earlier on, is that you would, as an individual, and I think I fell foul to it, lose the value of money. So when I was 18, I literally had a credit card drop through my door. Like, all you've got to do is phone us up and we'll activate it, and here
it's 1,500 quid.
It's 1,500 quid's worth of free money.
400% interest.
Well, yeah. I got an Amex card.
Wow, I had one of those.
Amex Blue? The one with the little blue white card with the blue
No,
square
mine wasn't blue.
Oh, you had an actual proper Amex one with the dollar bill on it.
Yeah, mine was through Lloyd's. I can't remember what colour it was. Might have been black.
Oh, okay. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Fancy card. But like that, if you take away cash, there is no £3 strapped on the inside of a card. Do you know what I mean? Like, my mate did it for my birthday recently. Like, literally, I was pissing myself with laughter because he strapped £3 inside the card.
That's what your grandparents used to do.
Of course. When was the last time you got £3 inside your card? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as a kid, you sort of learn the value of money a little bit through cash. Through handling cash. Yeah, exactly.
You don't see it, you don't know.
Exactly.
It's that old principle, isn't it?
So if you've got, if you're digitally transferring little Timmy 10 quid so that he can buy 20 V-Bucks or whatever is the thing at the time, like, it's just there is nothing there. He hasn't actually got to do anything for it. But do you remember when we were kids? Like, I remember ordering parts from. Do you remember when you used to get a catalogue through the door? And I don't mean like Littlewoods, but like a catalogue for something through. Like, for me as a kid growing up, it was mountain biking, so I'd get a catalogue for mountain bike parts, and you'd go through it, and you'd fill out an order form that was at the back. You had to tear off the back page, fill out the order form for the bits you wanted, and then you had to give. Well, I mean, I had to give my mum the money.
Yeah. So
she'd write a cheque. You'd then take that cheque down to the post box with your little order letter, post that off somewhere. Then it would be a week later or 10 days later, your stuff would turn up, because it would take 5 days for the cheque to clear and then 5 days for the stuff to post out. And you went through this big, long process of stuff. I was looking at a new PC yesterday online, and I had the option of paying by cash or paying by card. Obviously, I'm online, or paying with finance. I can pay like 0 interest for 6 months. I could pay monthly for X amount, depending on the amount of deposit, or I could pay up front, which I'd be paying on the credit or debit card.
Yeah, and then you can probably pay by PayPal.
Yeah, Apple, that sort of thing. So all of the digital, all of the digital ways of paying. But I've got no, like, kids today could look at that. I mean, all right, kids can't enter into a credit agreement, but what I'm getting at is there's no value of money to be learned. Do you see what I mean with it? Because you're not handling the cash. You don't understand that you've got to work. You've got to work for an hour to earn a tenner. To then, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I know it because it's what I do. I understand that I have to work for so that I get money, and that money's got to be divided up in the most sensible possible ways. Paying the bill, paying food, blah 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 blah. Adult responsibilities. Adulting sucks, but like, I could just go click, and then 24, 48 hours later, I've got 1,000, 2,000, 1,500, 5, 10. Like that.
Well, NatWest was a prime example when you're a kid. So if NatWest were I would say NatWest were the best for kid savings. So you save £10, John. They give you this piggy bank.
Yep.
The basic one.
Yeah.
It had a little white nappy on, didn't it? But if you save £50, we'll give you the next one. Yeah. And if you save £100, you get the next. You had like a whole collection. I don't know how much you had to save.
The incentive schemes for collecting. Yeah,
absolutely.
And you'd go into like I was Nationwide because my mum worked for Nationwide when I was kiddie. And so I'd go into Nationwide, and I remember going in with my little savings book.
Yeah.
A little blue book.
That's it.
And you'd go in with your money and your mum, and you'd put it over the counter, and the woman would, with the half glasses, would look over the counter, and she'd be like, "Hello, are you going to pay in? Are you? Oh, well done, young man." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all that sort
you
of
had
stuff.
that.
Like the whole experience of it. Like that doesn't exist anymore.
No, although I was sort of going to say it, and then I'm going to say the opposite afterwards. But basically, with my kids, so Easter, Christmas, birthday, any money they get throughout the year, I'll at 1 or 2 points in the year get the money, and I'll go with them to the bank, and then they'll put it in.
Yep.
Although because it's through my bank now, the last couple of times I've
just transferred the money straight there.
But I've done it with them, so
yeah.
they've got it out, they've counted it up, and then I've just transferred it.
Yep.
And then I've taken the cash
course.
at a later
Yeah.
date. Whereas you used to just take them in there.
Yeah.
So they're actually depositing their own money into the banks.
Yeah.
They need to see that.
Yep.
Because that's what happens.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So, but obviously, the last couple of times I've done it the other way, but still involve them, so they still know that that's happening, and then I also update them on how much
they've got in their savings.
They've got, so.
But it's like you've said, you've gone through. They've had the tangible. They've had something in their hand.
Yeah. So they're giving me that,
so if you
knowing that it's going.
If you take that away, it just drops down to ones and zeros, and it just drops down to numbers on a piece of paper or on a computer screen or whatever. So there's no
learning the value of it until you get to the point where you haven't got it.
Yeah, but
so when they get older, by not learning, they might get into like a rut where they just spend it like water. But I think that's part of learning in itself, isn't it?
I think there is a degree.
And then when it's gone, you're like, wow, okay, when we're going to get the next lot? Okay, this is obviously going to start coming from working for it. So then you're seeing it even digitally.
I know what you mean. I don't know. It might be.
Was you good with money though when you was a teenager?
Fucking awful.
Neither was I. So like doing all that as a kid.
Yeah.
You still.
I mean, don't get me wrong. But then you've got. Like I worked a after school / Saturday job.
I did that too.
And that was literally, I got paid Saturday when the shop closed, and that was gone. By like midnight Saturday, that was gone.
It's always gone by the end of the weekend.
Yeah. Mine was on booze and other things at the weekend, and so it was gone. And then I'd either borrow bits of money throughout the week that I'd have to pay back out of my wages. Do you know what I mean? Like a packet of fags, or cut a few packets of fags or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it sort of. It sort of taught me the value of money, but also it didn't, because could you lend us a tenner? Yeah, sure, no worries, here you go, it's coming out your wages, is then suddenly credit card territory just for juniors. Do you know what I mean? And like, I've got, for my daughter, I've got her she's got a normal bank account. She's got like this prepaid credit card, debit card thing. So I put money on it, so her pocket money goes on there, because I don't have her every day of the week. I only see her every other week. I put money on a debit card for her. Her birthday money goes on it. This year for Christmas, her Christmas presents, Christmas money's going to go on it. And the same from like grandma, granddad. That's all going on there.
Yeah.
She'll obviously have something to open up, because Christmas is still Christmas and she's still a kid. But like, she's gonna get that, and I don't think that she's gonna learn. I know she doesn't really understand the value of money. So like what a pound actually buys. Do you know what I mean?
What? Yeah. If
Like,
you need,
she knows that she can go to the shop, and if she wants to spend £3.20 on a can of Coke and a bag of crisps and a chocolate bar and a sandwich, she can do that. But she doesn't know that she's like. Do you know what I mean? She doesn't understand because, and I guess times have changed as well.
you've just been given it, aren't you? You're not earning it. That's the difference as well, isn't it?
Yeah. And but I mean, I make her. She only gets it because it's quite good. This little card thing, because it's got like chores tick lists that she says she's done, and ultimately I have to agree it. So it sends a message to my version of the app, the parental app, and I have to agree that she's done those things for the money to be transferred over into her.
That's a pretty good idea. I didn't know that even existed.
Yeah, it's really good, man. It's actually pretty cool.
Okay.
Little rooster card. It's
I think that's a pretty good idea. Maybe that's something we could include a link to.
Yeah, I can put that link.
Because I think a lot of people, would think that that's a good idea. If you can say, right, has your room been clean all week? This, and it has to be ticked off, and you have to acknowledge that that's been done.
And you can set,
and then they receive that money or have access to that money.
You can set monetary value, so you can put a pot in. So, like for instance, I'll give her £20 a month, right? So that £20 goes into the holding account, and then each job is allocated a bit of money. So, like dusting is worth 50p, making your bed every day over the course of the week is worth a fiver.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And so on and so forth. And if she says, right, I've done all these jobs, and I go, no, you haven't. So instead of her getting £20, she'll only get £16 or
I think that's a really good idea.
Or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And that sits in the pot because I've already paid it in by standing order or whatever. It's just sitting in her pot. She hasn't got access to it, but it's still there. As an adult, you can take money out of it as well, so you can put it back in your own bank account, or you can withdraw it to your bank account. So, suddenly, if she's ticking that through till she's bloody 16, then I'm going to be like, well, you can have your own bank account. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. You can upgrade your bank account and start using it properly. So your money that's in there can be taken out and then put in
to a current account or something like that.
Yeah, to a current account, exactly. So it's pretty cool, like from that respect. But I don't think I wouldn't say it teaches her the value of money. It teaches her what she gets in terms of earning. So if you work, you earn. But I still don't think it teaches you the value of money with it. And I mean, I'm not particularly great with money.
You don't really get that until you're an adult and you're paying bills and
I think you're probably right.
Earning, like actually working, doing stuff in your house, keeping your room tidy and all that sort of stuff is more life skills, isn't it? Although they're doing the chores to earn the money.
Yeah.
When you physically getting up 6 o'clock, going to work.
Oh yeah.
Earning the money.
It's different.
And you've got to pay for your car and.
But yeah, but then that's on a much grander scale. That's chores on a grand scale, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
To a degree. Yeah.
So
it's a good idea.
It is a good idea, and it works because then she'll turn around to me quite often and go, Dad, I've got a tenner here from Nanny, and I want some V-Bucks to play Fortnite, or I want a new skin on Fortnite, or whatever it is. Can you do me a favour and put the money? Here's the cash. Can you put the money into my account? Yeah. Release, drop, done, dusted. There you go.
And the other thing about having like cashless devices such as self-service tills, obviously, is lots of jobs, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
The same with the petrol station.
Yeah.
Say the petrol station did a bit of both. You might have 2 people behind the counter because they need 2 people because
security.
People are doing the shopping and people paying for their fuel, cash, as well as card, obviously in the shop, which irritates you. But having it all cashless on the pump might only require one person inside because you're only really getting the people in that are going in to pay for bread and stuff. And you might just think, oh, do you know what? I can't be bothered to go in there and get them few bits in there. I'll just wait until I go to Tesco's on Wednesday or whatever, and I'll get it all then.
Yeah, and ultimately, if you don't need people,
the same with self-service tills.
Self-service tills, yeah. Like if you don't need people, you only need one person or 2 people to deal with like 20 tills.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Like Lidl's and all that. How many self-service checkouts do they have now in comparison to actual operated tills?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's massively different.
And you've got the Morrisons even do the conveyor belt self-service things now, don't they? You get Morrisons, so it's a normal sized checkout.
Yeah.
Where you'd normally have some person sitting there, hello, beep 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 beep. It's not. It's just a self-service scanny thing.
Where's the customer service?
Oh, exactly.
You're not getting any, are you?
Well, no customer service. People are losing jobs potentially because of you're taking away the requirement. Other than we need people out there stocking the shelves, and occasionally coming.
But they're there anyway.
Yeah, and occasionally coming over, going, well, there's an unexpected item in your bagging area.
Yeah.
But like, do you know what I mean? You've taken away a till assistant, or you've de-skilled your staff, because instead of them being multidisciplinary, being able to work the till, work the shelving units, work in the warehouse and the stock and all. Do you know what I mean? You're de-skilling people from it. Ultimately, going forward, I'd like to hope that there was still cash floating about, and that cashless society doesn't come about. I mean, don't get me wrong, it can be convenient.
It's part of your holiday as well, though, isn't it?
Weird
Isn't
money.
it part of your holiday? Yeah.
Weird money. Having weird money that makes no sense.
Wow. Okay. Oh, wow. I've got like double.
yeah.
You know, like 10 years ago, you got double dollars for your pounds.
Yeah.
So you're like, wow, I've got like $2 for every quid. So I've gone out there with 500 quid, and I've got like $1,000 to spend.
Mate, school trips to France when you were kids.
So that was
francs.
part of it. Learning all your money.
It was 10 or 12 francs to £1. I was like, holy crap, I'm a millionaire. I know, you got a tenner.
We go somewhere like Greece and you get like 10,000 whatever it is to a quid. What?
Yeah.
That's insane. But I think, you know, that it takes all of that away.
Of course it does.
It would just be crazy. I think even when it went to Euros, it was a bit disappointing, because you go anywhere in Europe and you're all like, oh, okay, it's Euros everywhere.
Same thing, yeah. And you don't have that cool drawer or that cool money box at home anymore with
all
little
your
coins
where
and
you've
notes
been.
and, exactly.
Definitely.
Yeah, but it's it'd be nice to think that it doesn't go over to a cashless society, but I just think
I think don't get me wrong, to a degree.
I mean, we're already there to a degree. With
I don't really carry cash around hardly ever, but I want to be able to access my money.
You want the opportunity to have it if you need it.
If I want to, yeah. At the end of the day, it's my money. If I want to go to the bank now and draw it all out of a machine, it's my money. I should be able to do what I want with it. It's not up to my bank what they do with my money, unless I'm instructing them to do something with it. Yeah. It's not theirs, it's mine. I earned it.
I think it's
and also, I pay a monthly fee for the privilege of having my money in that account.
And I think and I think you run the risk with the way that we run with money these days, or whatnot, of running yourself into debt. Because like I said earlier on, yesterday I could have gone, dink, couple of grand, nice new PC turn up. I've got to pay £25 a month for it. All right, fair enough. A couple of weeks later, boiler blows up. Crap, need a new boiler. I haven't got the money for that up front, or I haven't got all of it up front. Hey, you can put it on finance. Oh, okay. Yeah, nice. It's only 30 quid a month for a new boiler, and then wife's birthday or Christmas or whatever. And then I'll get her these bits and I'll put it on the credit card, which is essentially finance. It's just
I think, but once you've applied for credit a few times, it does start getting restricted, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, to a degree, but you know, people online gambling, mate. You can set up accounts and bits and bobs, or online spending, online gambling. You run the risk of throwing yourself into a huge amount of debt before you know what's going on. You can make it bad before anyone realises that actually this guy's not. Suddenly you're 10, 15 grand in a hole, and do you know what I mean? And that's not good, is it? I mean, like it doesn't.
But that's been like that for years, isn't it?
It has, but it was harder.
I think like I don't think you get as many credit card. When was the last time you had a thing saying, do you want a credit card for your door?
Oh, I don't, because I fucked up my credit history so bad that no one will go anywhere near me. So,
but I don't get any. I'm not saying I want any. So if anyone's listening, don't please don't feel free to send me loads of rubbish. But because I won't have it anyway, I'm pretty good with my money. But you don't get it. So whether it's something that's been stopped because it was a problem,
I think it might have been.
And the interest rates, I think, were regulated more, weren't they? Because you were having like some that were like 1,500% APR.
Crazy, man.
If you've got bad credit, we'll lend you anyway. That sort of mentality, which was poor.
Right. I think the credit crisis and the collapse sort of brought about a bit more regulation or a bit more control over who would get money thrown at them. Yeah. For sure. But you know, I think you run the risk of putting yourself, if you physically got, let's say you go, right, you know, I like to go to the bookies. I've got £100 in my pocket. I've got 5 £20 notes. and I'm going to put 5 bets on, or I'm going to do whatever for my 100 quid. Once that 100 quid's gone,
that's it.
That's it. But if you've got your bank card with you, irrespective of if you're addicted to gambling, irrespective, and I guess potentially it does go that way anyway, but you'd be more likely to go, oh crap, I lost that 100 quid. I'll just put another 100 quid because I've got my card.
Yeah.
Than you would be, oh bloody hell, I've got to go all the way down to the bank to get the cash back out to come all the way back out. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it could.
Yeah, you're more likely to have a thing to yourself.
I think there are some definite perils over a cashless society than there are over a cashed society. Do you know what I mean? Some serious potential pitfalls, people getting into debt, which of course, you know, increases people's stress, can increase depression and suicide rates and bits and bobs because people can't cope and all that sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean? You know, there are, like, the fact that debt help charities have to exist now.
Yeah.
Like that really, it's 2020. Like, okay, this year itself has been a bit.
When are you ever taught to manage your money? When?
No,
you're not
exactly.
taught it in school.
No.
So unless your parents are sat down, and my dad was absolutely awful with money. He's one of the people that would have just borrowed it and drank it all or gambled it or whatever. Don't think I ever heard him mention saving anything at any point. So if you're not taught by your own family, where is it?
Yeah, and I mean, like, my mum, bless her, like, tried her hardest to hammer and nail into me like I'm the black sheep of the family. My sister is like crystal clean credit rating, has never missed a payment for anything ever in her entire life. Like, my sister would go without food if it meant that she could pay her credit card bill. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas I'd be like, you're a multi-billion-dollar company. Fuck off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which, like, so obviously very different. So, like, my mum really did a great job with my sister, and she tried to do a great job with me. I just paid no attention to it. But like you say, you're not taught it in school. I could talk about, I don't know, stuff that they teach you in school, biology, or I can. You know what I'm like, through conversation with me. I can talk about things.
Do you need to know about dissecting a frog as much as you need to know about actually managing some finances?
Manage your money, how to budget things, what taxes actually mean, how to work out taxes properly, and all that. Like, how to apply for a mortgage and what affects you as an 18-year-old lad doing the bunk with 1,500 quid from Amex is going to have when you're 37 years old trying to get a mortgage. Do you know what I mean? Yep. Like, and the path that you travel yourself down. I mean, so yeah, I think. I mean, I was lucky that I've been bailed out by my mother a few times, more than a few times, to be fair. So I'm lucky in that respect, and I've managed to sort of sort myself out. And do you know what I mean? Credit rating's not singing and dancing, but all my it is in comparison to where it was. But that was only because I've had the support. So, you know, if I didn't have that, I could have found myself in a position where, like, a tin of baked beans would have been a luxury. Do you know what I mean?
Yep. You'd have had nothing. Yeah, you could have literally had nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Through not understanding it all. So I think
it's just a step on the ladder, isn't it? If you're taught it at an early age.
Yeah. I don't disagree. I think you're right. I think if you taught it at an early age, you could deal with it. And if they did, it would probably help solve an awful lot of issues that society has with gambling, with debt, with that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think we're on something, actually. We need to get it introduced into the education system.
No, I think you're right.
At the end of the day, you don't have to have... you could incorporate into, like, business studies or something like that, couldn't you? Or maths,
actually,
finance. Don't they have
something called PSHE now, personal social health education, or something like that, or society education, or something like that, community education, where it's in that it's its own part of its fundamental subject on its own, not like well, you have to pay tax if you run a business, not that. It's got to be,
or how to set up a business, you know, all of that.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
just having the understanding of managing money
and being able to do things that are within your limits. Not going to put you in a bad. Because if someone said to me,
save before you spend, not spend before you.
Literally, as I picked up that credit card, if someone, because my mum didn't bloody see it, if she'd got there and gone, whoa, right, you blast in this cash now, right? Realistically, you're not going to be able to afford. You're 18 years old. You're earning like £600 a month, mate. Like you're not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to pay back £5,000. Do you know what I mean, or whatever it was. Like if she caught me there and then and had gone, "What are you doing? It's going to screw you over for the future." I probably would have told her to piss off to start with, but then I would have thought about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I would have gone and done it anyway, but I would have thought about it a bit more and maybe gone, all right, actually, can you...
I won't use all of it.
Yeah, can you help?
I might manage it. I might get the things that I actually need that I purposely thought of when I got the cards.
Yep.
But then I might not go out with my mates on a 2-week bender.
Yeah.
Like paying for everyone's drinks.
Of course, yeah. Which, to be fair, I did. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It's exactly what happens, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you're not managing it, and you're not taught how to manage it.
Exactly.
And really, you're not taught the value of the money that you're using.
No, because it doesn't exist, because it's not in your
The bank, they don't care, because they're making money out of you.
Of course they are.
So
yeah, absolutely. So yeah, so cashless society, not necessarily a great idea, I don't think, and I hope that we don't go, that after this whole COVID crap's done and dusted, that we can move away from it. Yeah, because I think actually cash, whilst not necessarily helpful to the treasury, might help a local business if you know what I mean, cash in hand transaction. Your mate comes around because he's a sparky, he pays his taxes, but you need some work doing. Pay your mate cash in hand. Going into the local greengrocers, paying in cash in there, gets cash moving through the business so that they don't get backed up because payments take 90 days before someone will pay you. You know, yeah. I think we need to keep a cashless society. A cash society, sorry. Not a cashless. Right. I think that'll do it. I think we just about covered that. What are your guys' thoughts? Cashless society. Good idea? Bad idea? Let us know.
And if you've got any spare, just sling it my way.
Yeah, well, we do have a link in the show notes, which is buy us a beer, which does help towards the show moving forward. So there is that. So with that, thanks, Marky Boy.
Okay. Don't forget to manage your money.
Manage money, yeah. Look after it sensibly.
Ciao for now.
See you later.